Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the October 5th, 2022 virtual meeting of Chatham's Historic Business District Commission. My name is Daniel Silver, and I'm the current chairman. Yes, my voice is a little scratchy. Please forgive me because I'm doing this by phone. All right. So, this meeting should unfold as follows. As soon as Sarah Clark, the Central Permitting Coordinator, reads the Governor's Directive concerning these meetings, we'll do a roll call of the members who are present, and we'll be reviewing the application this afternoon. As soon as the minutes are completed and approved, we'll move right on to the application. And when our clerk, Sam Strybert, reads the application, we ask that you speak up and let your presence be known and give us a brief synopsis of what your project entails. I thank you so much, Sarah.
Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify the chairman. Pursuant to Governor Baker's July 16, 2022, signing of an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, including the extension of his March 12, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, until March 31, 2023, this meeting of the Historic Business District Commission is being conducted remotely and shall afford adequate alternative means of public access via Microsoft Teams by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 261-236-554#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. Despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access, and we will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. In accordance with town policy, the public can speak to any issue, hearing, or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair.
I thank you, Sarah. Now we'll do a roll call of the members who are present, starting with Darcy, our vice chair.
Darcy Sequin is present.
Okay, and our clerk, Sam Strybert.
Sam Strybert is here.
Okay, and regular member, Doug Grattan.
Doug Grattan is here.
Okay, and our first alternate, Steve DeBoer.
Steve DeBoer is here.
Okay, and Steve, you'll be taking Bob's place today. Bob Burns is not going to be with us. And then, as I said, my name is Dan Silver. So here, we definitely have a quorum. All right, now the first order of business, as I said, is the minutes, and those are of September 21st. Does anybody have any comments or amendments they'd like to make? Okay, hearing none. Doug, do you want to make a motion?
I wasn't present, Dan, last week. Can I make the motion or should someone else?
Sorry, Doug. I'm sorry. I got you crossed out here. All right. Stan?
Yes, I have one comment on page 3 of 6, additions and alterations. The next paragraph that's headed questions and comments from the commission. In that bulleted section, a member asked if there were munitions dividing the transom window or a single light to be consistent with the other windows. The word munition is not correct. It's muttons, M-U-T-I-N-S. So I'd like that corrected.
Very good, Sam. Yep. All right. Anybody else? All right, Sam, would you like to make a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
I accept the, I vote to, I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Very good.
Second?
Steve DeBoer will second that.
Very good. Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All right, now we'll do a vote. Darcy Sequin.
I was not here for the last meeting.
Oh, see, you either. Wow. Okay. All right, then. That, let's see. Sam?
Yes, I vote to approve.
Okay, very good. Doug, you weren't here either, right?
Correct.
Steve DeBoer was.
Yes, Steve DeBoer votes to approve.
Okay, and Dan Silva votes to approve as well. Very good. Okay, so I think that passes the minutes, I believe. All right, Sam, what is our application this evening?
We have a site improvement, 22-90 St. Christopher's Church, care of Rick Roy Construction LLC. Application to install a fence located at 625 Main Street.
Very good.
And Rick Roy is here.
Hello, Rick. What can you tell us?
So I was approached by the church. They are
Yep.
trying to mitigate a sound problem between the restaurant next door to the back of the St. Christopher's Church, where all of the fan equipment is for the restaurant. And the idea is to construct a fence, okay, that's tall enough. So we're going to put up a 12-foot cedar fence that goes along the banking that's right between Ron Rudnick's property and the church. There's actually an existing stockade fence there now that we'll take down. The purpose of the fence being 12 feet tall is we're actually going to put on the back side of the fence soundproofing material. The purpose of this is that the church has burial services outside in the summertime behind the church, and of course they can't really hear themselves think when they're out there because of the noise from the fan equipment. So this was the way that they thought that they would be able to mitigate that problem. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Okay, Rick, did you check with the town? Can you put up a 12-foot fence? I didn't think you could.
No, we interestingly enough, bureaucracy these days, not only do we have to get approval from conservation because it's in the floodplain, but we are going to be seeking a variance from the town to be able to put a 12-foot fence in the setback.
Okay,
And we are on the docket to go to zoning board of appeals, and we did apply to conservation, and we got an administrative review. So we're just after this
good.
we have zoning board of appeals.
Sounds like you got your ducks in a row.
I hope so.
All right, let's see what the commission thinks.
Oh.
Darcy?
That's a pretty tall fence, Rick. I can't really envision what it's gonna look like. Is it
Well, you
gonna
just
be,
have to understand, Darcy, okay, that there's quite a bit of vegetation down there, and there's, we're going to be putting the vegetation back. But right now, if you were to take all the vegetation down, you'd be looking at the tall side of the bistro restaurant, or whatever the name of the restaurant is there, and all of the fan equipment, okay, that is sitting on the side of that building. So by far, the fence is much better looking than what's there now.
would you be able to shield it with some lealands or something?
Well, we'll be able to do it with some vegetation, but we don't want to plant Leland cypress down there because they get to be so big. So it'll take up too much of the area, because what there is there's a garden out there. And evidently, for those people, and I don't know if Dick Cracer is on the call or anything, but they do burials out there, I think maybe of ashes or something else like that. So, we don't want to lose too much space.
Well, maybe arborvitae's.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure that the church does not have any issues with softening the fence by putting vegetation in front of it. That I can tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be okay with it as long as you could plant something in front of it to shield it somewhat.
I'm sure we can.
Okay, so, Dave?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, when I first looked at this, I thought 12 feet was not gonna look very good down there. And I know there's a lot of vegetation already there. Was there any plans to remove that or replace it? I think I just heard you say you might be replacing some of that.
Well, don't forget now, okay, the whole purpose of this fence, all right, is to be able to block the equipment that's there. So if the equipment was only 4 feet off the ground, okay, we would only be putting the fence up 4 feet off the ground and we would be fine. The problem is that this equipment goes up the side of the building and the motors for the fans are elevated up off the ground. So in order for the fence to serve the purpose that we're trying to serve, which is to be able to mount, we have these pads that we're going to purchase that hang off the backside of the fence. The distance from the distance from this equipment, I mean, this wouldn't be an issue if this was done, you know, after the bylaw was passed, that you couldn't put this kind of equipment in the setback. This equipment is virtually, at one point was virtually over the property line on the church's property, but they've since rectified that by changing the lot line to make it so that the equipment was on Ron Rudnick's property and not the church's property. So this thing has a specific purpose. It's not just there for decoration. It has to be that tall in order to serve the purpose or it's pointless. So what'll happen is, you know, it needs to be structurally sound. So, you know, we'll be digging sonotubes in and encasing the posts in concrete. So, but that'll be below ground. And then after we get the fence in, we'll revegetate in front of it, soften the look of it.
Has anybody approached the restaurant and asked them to see if they can shield some of their equipment so that this fence doesn't have to be as high? You know, maybe they can put something around it or
we are at the last resort when it comes to this equipment. The church has done many, many things to mitigate this, and this is the final approach to this thing. They tried putting, you know, they can't put the equipment on the roof. They can't move it around to the other side of the building because of the location of the kitchens. We've been all through this. And I would say that after this fence is in and it grays up, you know, it's so close to the building, Ronnie Rudnick's building. It's probably within 4 feet of Ronnie Rudnick's building. For all intents and purposes, you could be looking at the side of the building. It's not certainly going to be.
You know, I'm just wondering if they can somehow encase their equipment somehow, or you know,
they can't.
You know, to sort of share some of the burden of trying to you know, lessen the noise impact on the church.
I personally have not been through all of this methodology, okay? But the church and the members of the church and Ronnie Rudnick have been going round and round in this for several years about what the solution could be. And they certainly have tried figuring out all these other things that you're talking about because it's a logical thing to say. But this is actually coming out to be about the only thing that we can do. They can't move them. Okay. There's nothing that they can do. So this is it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Doug?
So I'm familiar with this property as I sold a condo that's above this, and I know right where those units are. So I agree that I think this would be the only and best solution for the fence to be installed and softened with some greenery. So I have no more questions.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just hate to start a precedence of allowing a 12-foot fence, but if they're going to put some sort of shrubbery to mitigate it, that'll cut the fence in half anyways, minimum.
Well, just so you feel good about that, Dan, it wouldn't be setting a precedence because I still have to get through the Zoning Board of Appeals to seek a variance, which means, you know, it's not going to be a shoo-in at the Zoning Board of Appeals either. So,
Alrighty.
And Sarah can speak to that, I'm sure.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody on the commission have any further questions? Okay, Doug?
Under application, site improvement, application 22-1 22-090 St. Christopher's Church, care of Rick Roy Construction LLC. Application to install a fence located at 625 Main Street as presented.
Thank you, Doug.
Can we add the, to the motion that we add some arborvitae or something in front of it? What does
Oh, yes,
everybody think?
yes, that there be some sort of planting, yes.
And I think that
Absolutely.
because
How
I
would you
can't
like-
answer, because I can't answer for the church, I think that if you put in the wording that they're gonna vegetate in front of the fence, I think that we can do what you're requesting. I just don't know what species they'd be planting there. And I don't want to lock them into a specific species.
I would say some
Okay,
sort of
Darcy?
vegetation. That's at least 4 feet tall.
Screening bushes that, or
Yeah.
trees.
That's good.
So I'll amend my motion. Under site improvement application 22-090, St. Christopher's Church, care of Rick Roy Construction, LLC, application to install a fence located at 1625 Main Street with the addition of screening vegetation up with a minimum of 4 feet in height.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. All right, ready to vote? Okay, Darcy,
I'll vote in favor. Darcy Sequin votes in
Okay, Sam.
favor.
thank you. Sam Stryber,
Sam Stryber votes in favor.
okay, Doug Grattan,
Doug Grattan votes in favor.
okay, Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer votes in favor.
and Dan Silver votes in favor as well. Thank you, Rick. Good luck with that.
Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon, guys and gals. Bye-bye.
You bet. Take care.
Take care, Rick.
All right, Sam,
Administrative approval exemption, 22-91, Victorian of Chatham, care of Bruin Remodeling Group LLC. Ratification of a certificate of administrative approval to replace a portion of the roof on the structure located at 389 Orleans Road.
all right, who went out
Okay,
there,
so
Sarah?
this one was done by Darcy and Bob. They were
Okay.
replacing a portion of the roof structure right here. So this is the Victorian. Liberty Commons is across the way. And they're replacing it with Timberline architectural roof shingles in gray frost, which matches the existing roof on this structure.
Hey, very good. All right, sounds good to me. All right, Darcy? Or
You want me
actually,
to make a motion, or Doug usually
go
does
ahead.
that? Go ahead.
Doug making a motion
Okay.
under administrative approval, application 22-091, Victorian at 389 Orleans Road, to replace the roof as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Can
Okay,
I
motion was
ask
made
a
and
question? Did they specify they would be replacing matching shingles? that they-
Yes.
Sure, it's like for
Yes.
like? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, Darcy?
Darcy votes in favor.
Okay, Sam Stryber?
Sam Stryber votes in favor.
Okay. Doug Grattan?
Doug Grattan votes in favor.
Okay, Steve DeBoer?
Steve DeBoer is in favor.
And Dan Silver votes in favor as well. Thank you so much. And folks, before you leave, on the other business, I just want you to know that I have not forgotten that we are going to do a discussion and a vote on the, whether to continue the virtual meetings or not. We just haven't got it on the, agenda, so I'll talk to Sarah about that, all right?
Okay,
So Dan, I can add that to our agenda on the 19th if you'd like.
Yes, please, Sarah.
Okay.
I just don't want them to think I forgot about it, so. I guess we had, what, 3 respondents so far?
Yes, I only received 3 responses.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. All right, then. That's it, folks. I won't hold you any longer. Is there a motion?
I move
Doug
that.
Grattan will make a motion to adjourn.
All right, is
Go
there a
ahead, Sam,
second?
second.
Okay, folks. Motion has been made and seconded. Darcy seconded. All right. Darcy,
Sam did. Darcy's in favor.
Okay, Sam Stryber.
Sam Stryber in favor.
Okay, Doug Grattan.
Doug Ratten's in favor.
Okay, Steve DeBoer.
Steve DeBoer's in favor.
Okay, and Dan Silver's in favor as well, folks. Sorry about my not being there present, but anyways, I guess it worked. Thank you so much, folks. Wonderful job.
Okay. Have a
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
good-
Night.
Night.